Hi, a little close there. Sorry about that. Okay. Oh my God, what is this? Is a disaster. What is happening? Holy crap! This whole place is torn apart since when Commissar was here last. Hi everybody, welcome to the Late Night Playset. My name is Jay Ryan. We are live with you here. It is just after 5 o'clock here on the West Coast. We have our friend producer Mike up in Canada. It's the same time for you.
Peace and love, everybody.
Is it the same time for you?
We are also in the Pacific time zone, yes.
Okay. We've got Mrs. Ryan here as well. I'm wearing my pants shirt so we can talk about Mike's exciting information, exciting announcements, and the stuff he has to share later.
Yeah.
What the hell is going on?
And I brought this
the red
pencil.
Lights are off. Everything is... I'll explain the technical difficulties in a few minutes. But we're spending the entire hour with you, so please like, subscribe, and enjoy this channel. If you have anything to say, I mean anything, jump on the chat with producer Mike. He's there monitoring, as well as producer Ariel, who is on the Instagrams as well. She's there somewhere. I just saw her a moment ago. And they will make sure that I get it. Mrs. Ryan's here too, as I said. And I think it's just going to be a lot of... it's going to be a lot of your opinions tonight. Let's talk it out. Love everybody. Let's start the Late Night Playset right now. You trim your beard. You look great. And he did a shave. Everybody looks great. What's up, you guys? Kurt must be here. Hi, everybody.
Bubbles.
Hey, yay! Yay, we're back with the bubbles! Oh, what's up? Welcome back, everybody. It is Tuesday, April 5th. It's April! April, everybody!
How is that possible?
April 5th, 2022. It's Tradecraft Tuesday. We are hanging with you for the full hour. It is a group hang. I'm so excited about it. Here's the Tradecraft Tuesday apparatus for you. Excuse me. Tonight it is an indica. It is King Louis. Oh my gosh, and I have butter fingers. Producer Mike's up in Canada. What's happening, Producer Mike?
Yes, I am. I'm very happy to be here, and I have a caffeinated beverage that will allow me to enjoy this even more.
What, Dave always had coffee on the desk, but what did he used to say? There was a jingle that went along with when he had to, because of his heart surgery, he had to switch to decaf for at least a period there. And it was, I don't know if you remember this, but it was decaffeinated coffee. It's worthless warm brown water. Yeah. You know, that kind of. Are you a caffeine?
Well, it's a tasty beverage,
drinker?
and everybody deserves at least once a tasty beverage.
Are you, sir, a coffee drinker? Do you consider yourself a coffee drinker?
No, not at all. In fact, it annoys the heavens out of my wife when I wake up in the morning full of brand new, joyful, optimistic energy, and I say it's a brand new day with no coffee whatsoever. So when I have coffee, it literally hits me like the Batman villain Bane when he hits the little button and the venom goes into his body. I feel it immediately. I already feel that first sip I just took.
And forgive me here, but I'm not the comic book fella, is Bane the one with the I'm all angry, he's really angry, is that the guy?
Yeah, that's the one.
All right, so what's happening with him is he's actually getting a juice of like he's getting a squeeze of some serum that keeps him alive or something, or makes him angry.
Well,
I don't know.
Jay,
I don't know. Batman
yeah,
villains, come on.
Yeah, in the comic books, Bane was like a super steroid monster experiment guy, and he had these tubes that came down, and the tubes, every time he hit the little button, the special steroid, which is called Venom, went into him, and he just it's kind of like his version of hulking out, sort of.
But like I saw the movies, right? Like I don't read the comic books, but I saw the Chris Nolan movies because I love Chris Nolan, and I really liked the first one. I liked the second one, and I hated the third one. So I probably went in the opposite order of most people. Everyone talks about The Dark Knight being so good. You're wrong. What's his name? Heath Ledger was amazing, but the movie's just not that good. It's too many movies in one movie. But I guess that's a comic book thing too. Anyway, I remember seeing the movie. So all that stuff, he was getting juiced up whenever. I guess I understand now, but I didn't realize that at the time.
In the movie, he wasn't.
Help me a little bit.
He wasn't. That was Chris Nolan's interpretation for the movie to kind of make it sort of realistic. But in the comic books, that was a pure on testosterone, toxic masculinity kind of thing.
Okay. All right. Good to know. Now I've had my Bane education, or at least a little
welcome.
bit. It's not really a primer, is it?
Let's hope not.
Look at this. We're all three in here. Oh, and then I forgot about the Instagram audience. What's going on with the Instagram audience? Hello there. Ariel, you'll let me know if, I don't know, will you text me? How do we make all this happen? There's a lot going on here. And there's just no producer still.
Folks like the bubbles, though.
Say it again?
Folks like the bubbles, though.
Oh, that's good. Oh, so you're up there. You're watching the Instagram, so you can tell me what's going on. Because I can talk.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. All right. All right. So, I mean, here's the thing. It's not, I don't really have to shut up and rush to anything this evening because there's not that much. We don't have a guest. It's just going to be us hanging for the hour. We did that on purpose. It's been a while since we've done one of these. We've had great guests. We've been so super lucky that we wanted to take a breather, maybe talk about some of those guests, find out what you all think. And then we've got great guests lined up. Like the rest of the month is booked. So I don't know. It's a good, exciting time, and I guess we all needed a check-in. Is that right, Producer Mike? Do you think?
Oh man, I think a check-in every now and then is not just wanted but needed.
Yeah. Plus, we've got some exciting announcements north of the border for you and. I mean, me ancillarily as a fan and other people, but should we start with that? I mean, do you mind? Do you mind if we just do that top of show?
Oh man, we can start it whatever you want. I'm just happy to be here.
I wore this shirt for you, obviously, today.
I appreciate that.
All right, so why am I wearing my pants shirt today, Producer Mike?
After a lot of ho-humming and thinking that why am I the guy to do this, I have been encouraged from a plethora of sources, including these guys, these lovely guys right here. I have decided to start the Letterman Podcast, and I've already got the first show in the bag, which is just me talking to camera, which nobody will ever watch unless the thing actually takes off. Then people might come back and go, "Oh, why did this guy do this?" But I've already
No, I salute you. You're wrong. They're all going to watch that. They want to know your backstory.
All right. Well, I don't tell my complete story in it because I feel like my story is coming. A circle is going to complete on May 7th with my story. So that's going to be an episode unto itself once that little nugget happens. But I do allude to it a little bit. The reason I'm starting the podcast is, and I said this to James off camera after the show last week. I am not satisfied with how fast people have forgotten Johnny Carson. I can't believe how many people or how few people nowadays have heard of this guy who is an icon. And I feel like I don't want that to happen to Dave. So I'm going to get a jump start on that and get the analyzing of what, in my opinion, was one of the greatest icons in broadcasting. And I want to get that going, and no one else is doing it. So, hey, let's do it. Let's get it done.
The one thing I've learned in life is that you can't wait for somebody to give you permission to do something. If you want to do it and it's in your heart, buddy, you're the guy for the job. I am proud to say I was one of the people who encouraged you to do this. I think at first when you ran it by me, I think you kind of wanted to do it with me, and we would, kind of do something like that, and that still would be fun. But what I told you was what I saw very purely was, you're a fan who also happens to be very well versed in how to do all of this stuff. You're the perfect guy with the technical know-how, and it's in your heart to actually pull this off. Mark Malkoff did it with the Carson podcast.
Yeah.
You're the guy, buddy. You're the guy. You need somebody who's a little bit of both. Somebody that everyone can relate to, both the fans and the professionals you're going to be interviewing. And trust me, I've learned a little bit about this. Anyway, you're going to kill it. It's yours to make whatever you want with. And I am super, super proud of you because I feel this is a big jump in your own personal journey. Like a leap forward. I mean, a leap forward.
Yes, very much so.
Like getting over the fear hurdles.
Yes. Oh, yeah, without a doubt. We talked with Niall a few weeks back about imposter syndrome, and part of that was me asking him, here's this guy who grew up in South Central and had a sort of an maybe into the TV business, but it just seemed like he didn't once think, oh, I'm not the guy to do this, or I can't do this. It was only later on that he had some imposter syndrome. Man, I was living in imposter syndrome, and no, you guys really, really did help me jump over the hurdles that needed to be jumped over. So I appreciate that very, very much. And I mean, friends of the show. There's lots of very, very cool friends of the show out of the box, including you guys who are at the top of the list. So I'm very excited about this.
Absolutely. I told you when we first talked about it, I said, if you need any help with it, I'm your guy. And I think, what do we agree? I'm a consultant on it. Is that where we are with it? Am I a consultant on your podcast?
If it were up to me, you'd be co-host and executive producer, but consultant I'll take. That sounds really good.
I will be whatever you want. We will be whatever you want us to be, because we're just thrilled to be part of the story. But this is yours to make happen, and however we can help, we want to. So you just need to think about what you want, what your wildest dreams are, because we're the kind of people that help make those come true.
I thank you so much. I can't thank you enough. So damn grateful and excited too at the same time. This week I'm interviewing a few folks, somebody who was associated with the show, and then another guy who had his moment of his brush with the show. He got to meet Elle Macpherson. He got pulled out of randomness and got to meet Elle Macpherson, and he's so excited to tell the story because it happened like 20 years ago. And
so it's not the guy I was thinking of. There was one Elle Macpherson appearance where there was some guy in the audience who like wanted to hug Elle Macpherson or something, and then Dave made a thing about it, and then they brought her up into the audience. Is it that story?
I'm not sure. Was that Valentine's Day? If it was, then that's probably the same one.
I'm not sure. It was at the old
I
NBC
basically
show.
told him, I said, hold on, don't tell me anything. I don't want to pre-interview this. We're gonna do it on the show.
Okay. Oh, good for you. That's awesome. I can't wait. Because your plan, as I understand it, is to, not dissimilar to us or like Howard Stern, like you have the big people, but then you have like the small weirdos on too, right?
Absolutely.
Awesome. Because that's what a lot of us are interested in.
The cast members of the show were people who worked on the show. So yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Awesome. But don't forget the weirdos. The whack pack is where it's at.
Absolutely.
I'm so proud of you, buddy. Awesome. You're going to kill it. So the Letterman Podcast, do we have a schedule or anything? I know you're already recording episodes, and I know you're working on logos, and you're doing the whole package.
Okay, so I talked to somebody yesterday who worked for Dave for like 30 years. And I asked him, I said straight up, now, I want to see Dave on May 7th in LA. And I was wondering, if I release these episodes beforehand, is there a chance that could mess that up? And so I'm just wanting to get feedback on that, whether I should start releasing it before I go down to Cali, or if basically I go down to Cali, hopefully have the meeting with them, and then start it from there. I'm not sure how to proceed on that. But
do you
I am
want any
recording
advice on
right
that,
now.
or are you just gonna wing it?
Absolutely. I totally want feedback.
It would be my opinion that it's the same advice I always give you. You're trying to steer the ship a little too tightly. Loosen up the reins a little bit. Just decide what you want and let it come to you, buddy, because you're doing all of the work. I know that's how your mind works, so you be you. At the end of the day, you be you, and you go with your own intuition. But what I have seen of you over the past 6 months, your growth and your trajectory are very clear. I've told you so many times, you can't stop this from happening if you wanted to now. It's already in motion. I think that you should enjoy the ride a little bit more and do whatever you think in here.
Well, if that's the case, the first episode is going to be out before Thursday.
Holy crap. Congratulations. All right. Congratulations. Wow. Awesome. I hope we didn't make that happen, but I'm really happy for you.
Thank you, guys. I'm very happy and excited too. Thank you so much.
Do we have a platform for it yet? Do people know where to look for it, or should they just check in here next week and then we'll have information for them and all that?
Yeah. So for our other podcast, we use Anchor, which puts it out on like all the platforms for the audio, and then the video is going to be on YouTube. But I mean, I'm open to anything on that as well. I mean, you never know. It's a pretty high profile. You said this earlier. My other podcast is great. It's a men's mental wellness podcast. This guy here, though, is a little bit different of an animal, higher profile. So if something happened that, the Spotify of the world or someone like that came along, I'd be totally open to that. But right now, the idea is to be on all the audio platforms and then the YouTube.
Awesome. I think I told you this. We did the podcast portion on Anchor as well. I think I told you that Spotify actually reached out to us to be part of their pilot program for the video, the Spotify video, whatever. So, like, if you build it, they will come. It sounds so cheesy. Everybody says that, but it's totally true. So just do your thing. Don't worry about how it's going to work out. Just make sure you work hard every day, which you do. Your ethic is insane.
Yeah.
You don't have anything to worry about. Just decide what you want. That's the hardest part for most people. Decide the furthest out thing that you could possibly want, and then just make sure all your moves are in that direction.
Oh, yeah. I thank you so much for those words, because that part there, the dreaming part, that's easy for me. It's the realistic part that I've traced it back to a moment with my mother when I learned to ride my bike. Hesitation happens, and I have worked very hard to try and get out of that hesitation, and you guys have certainly helped with that. So, and James last week, oh my God, same thing. I just love
James Commissar. Say anything you want to say about James Commissar.
Oh my God. Yeah. I mean,
amazing.
What an episode. And talk about somebody who goes after their dreams, and talk about somebody who is all heart, living their life by their heart before anything. And I just appreciate that so much about him.
I can't tell you how much I had him wrong. Like, you hear about a guy like that, and then you read a little bit about the blurbs from Forbes or whomever, whatever the heck. And then you just kind of see, it's the same thing he did with me. You build this perception of what the person is going to be like in your head.
Yes.
And I mean, he and I probably did the same with him. We just blew each other out of we both sunk each other's battleship at the same time with two shots at the same time. And both blew each other out of the water. And now we're kind of like simpatico. Bro, we even shopped the same store, I am so taken with him as a human being that I like him so much that the fact that he's doing something that I really, really appreciate and believe in is almost secondary and ancillary now to. I'm like, oh, he's a really good person who's a good friend of ours. Yeah.
My wife and I have a shorthand for it. Whenever we meet somebody who is either energetically connected or really into the the manifesting, the peace and love, all the stuff that we find important. We have this shorthand where we say, oh, they're one of us. And I mean, James talked for like 10 minutes and I'm like, oh shit, this guy's one of us. I did not realize that.
Yeah, you're way more
succinct. Because I've met a lot of, yes, totally. And
that's exactly what I was trying to say.
Pleased to see that.
I should explain this too. If I look perhaps a little more disheveled than even usual, does everyone know why I even have a scruff? Does everyone know that? Like, I used to shave my face like a normal human being, but then I met her and she stopped it. She was like, no more of that. You're going to have a scruff. You look too young or something. Your baby face, whatever the heck. That was,
I was
11
told
years ago.
I look too old, and then I took it out on you. I'm sorry.
Anyway, for Christmas, she bought me one of those, and then I've been using it ever since. And, I was going to say 11 years because that's when we first met, but I think it was when we got married, which is still 10 years. Because I think I left the charger at home and I had to buy another one in Hawaii. Anyway, whatever. It's that old. It finally crapped out.
Oh.
So I need another one. So I am disheveled. I'm not well kept. and I didn't intend to be this way. It's not a relaxed J day. I just, it's been turning on. Yeah. It like 3 or 4 times. You got to do it for it to stay on lately, and then it's like an old car, right? Just like, nope, it's not gonna go today. Just not gonna go. Anyway, sorry. I just saw myself in the thing there, and whatever.
You look very well
Self-conscious.
manscaped.
I'm self-conscious. What do you want? We're talking about your exciting new podcast. I'm like, boy, it would have been nice if you shaved for it.
No. I'm happy to talk about your manscaping habits. I'm happy with that.
Is your face manscaping? Does that count? Oh, it does?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's gotta count. Absolutely.
I disagree.
Really?
I'm
It
probably
started
wrong.
out in the junk area, and then
body, I think of
magazines
body.
incorporated all of it.
If you were shaving your legs, would you call it ladyscaping? Is that part of
No.
your ladyscaping? Well, then
would.
I call bullshit.
I agree, but I know. I read magazines when they made it from junk to everything.
Oh, okay. I mean, I used to live with this, platonically, I used to live with this girl for years and years and years. And she had a lot of gay friends. And this one in particular, like, would come over so that they would go to the beach together and tan together and all that stuff. And he would come over and she would, like, buzz his back and stuff. That, to me, is manscaping. Whatever he does down here is manscaping. In my mind, the face is just part of it. That's just being a guy. There's no scaping.
I feel
Maybe
if
there's
there
a little
is,
bit. Like, you got a pretty good
maintenance
looking beard there.
Guys
Maybe
didn't
you're
used
scaping.
to formulate what this was. It was nothing or everything, and now it's
Now you can style it.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good word.
100%.
That's an interesting thing about hair, for guys especially. Because, like, at one point when you're young, it's about the hairstyle, and then you get to a certain age where it's pretty much solely about coverage. Just making sure there's still some up there in some places. You know what I mean? Just be happy with that. And it's funny because you that one kind of happens overnight. Maybe it's just growing up when you stop caring about shit.
Maybe.
You know what I mean? When you stop spiking your hair or doing
Maybe.
whatever the thing is that you did when you were young.
Maybe that's it.
You're a ponytail guy. Have you always had long hair?
No, I started growing my hair out in 2017 because I feel like what you're talking about, I only have a certain amount of years before I can pull off the Johnny Depp 90s, Eddie Vedder, grunge kind of thing before nature takes its course. So I wanted to do it one last time, and it's semi holding out.
Jeremy spoke in class today.
Right?
That was supposed to be Pearl Jam.
I mean, come on.
So speaking of James Commissar, I want to talk about a couple things. One, this was an amazing gift. This is what he gave us on the air. I know if you're even aware of what this actual item is, it's an old classic table cigarette lighter. There used to be one like this on Johnny Carson's desk. In fact, it should go up there next to the mug and microphone. Anyway, that happened now. He also gave us another gift after the show was over, off air. I think he probably intended to give it on the show, but man, we talked for 2 hours, so what are you going to do? But I wanted to share it with you all because he said he wasn't sure if we would like it, if it matched our motif or not, but he wanted to give it to us if we wanted it. So
It's the greatest.
I will caveat, it is a little weird at first because of how it's all done, but when you hear the story, it's awesome.
Yeah.
How do I do this? There we go. Is this it? There we go. So, yeah, of course that's Dave. And it's signed by Dave. But more importantly, this is an Annie Leibovitz photograph. Annie Leibovitz took this.
Yeah.
That to me is amazing.
That's amazing.
Yes.
And
And
she
it's-
doesn't shoot just anyone.
Right. And it's framed and mounted however it was supposed to be for the thing. And the fact that whoever it was, I mean, with Dave, obviously, but whoever had him sign it, whether it was her or whatever, he's just straight across the face, as he usually does, even for her. To me, that's awesome.
Awesome.
Huge thanks to James Commissar. Very, very nice. You didn't have to do this, but we will have it mounted and hung someplace. Very, very cool. It's just
I love
it's
the
weird
frame,
because
suns and moons and all that stuff.
I was just going to say, isn't that so weird? Because it doesn't. It's sort of the opposite of what you think of when I think of Dave.
Yeah, totally. I mean, even Dave. It was funny. I remember watching the Lizzo episode on because he's been talking over the years about meditation and some of the things he's gotten into.
Is that right?
And then on my next,
I
guest,
never
he
heard that
interviewed
before.
Lizzo.
Hang on, is that true? I've never heard that before. Therapy I've heard, and
Yeah.
medication I've never heard meditation.
Yeah, he tried the meditation. He's talked about it a few times anyway. I don't know how deep he is into it. I assume Seinfeld got him into it. That was just my assumption, though. I have no idea. That might not.
Oh,
be
he's
true.
actually into transcendental meditation.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
See,
Seinfeld will take a
interesting.
word and he'll say it for 20 minutes straight.
Yeah, that's exactly
Because that's
what
what they
it is.
do, right?
Interesting.
They pick their word and they just say it.
Yeah, you
So-
don't. I mean, one's assigned to you. You don't necessarily just pick it. You know, like, oh, I want
Yeah.
gobstopper. All right, gobstopper.
I'm sure it has its sciences and things. I don't know. I haven't looked too deeply into that one, but
really,
meditation
when
is
it
something that I love, and I can understand why someone like Dave would probably attract to it.
I mean, you have an issue where you zoom in a lot. Transcendental meditation is about transcending, so it's about zooming out.
Yes.
So maybe it's something that could benefit somebody like you, but I'm not somebody who pushes it because I'm not somebody who's like religious hardcore into it like those guys are. I have many different
Yeah.
ways of achieving that.
A friend of mine gave me a word once, and he said it was a divinely chosen word, not to tell anybody. So I haven't told
That's-
anybody, but I also haven't done very much with it.
But that's
I
what it
do
is.
The meditation. What's that?
Who's your friend? That's exactly how it works. You know, they give you a thing. You're not
Yeah.
supposed to share it with anybody. Who was your guy? Was he a coach?
Yeah, he's like a Reiki master, and he's written a bunch of books on the subject and or of Reiki anyway. And so
Wow.
yeah, he said, "Here you go. Here's your word." And I haven't done very much of it, but I do like my mind is very active, and so the act of just slowing the fuck down and chilling out and just letting things just glide on
Yeah.
by, releasing my brain, letting it go, is a very, very helpful thing for me. So.
It's hard to do, man. Especially today, the world moves so fast. I mean, I get really Mr. Rogers when I think about it because the world moves so quickly. I worry about the kids today who are way quicker than we already are, and I think about the real good stuff is in the slowness. It's in the none of that other. It's out of the din. You got to get below or above the din.
Yes.
And I don't know how. It's something I think about a lot, and it concerns me about the future of society and just people. I mean, I feel like we're already losing the art of talking to one another in real life.
I got a 3-year-old granddaughter who it's a fight to keep the cell phone out of her hand, and she is doing stuff on that cell phone that a 3-year-old, like, she can understand her ABCs slightly, but she can understand that phone way more. And I totally agree. The art of slowing down is nothing. But the cool thing about that, though, is it's hard to do, but there's no such thing as a bad meditation. So even if, you sit down for 20 minutes and you only get 30 seconds of that kind of silence, it's okay. There's no such thing as a bad meditation. And that's a very freeing concept to me. I love that.
Yeah, you can't screw it up. It's simply in the effort. It's in the intention. The result, you're right, doesn't matter. You end up
Yes.
achieving. Yeah, that's interesting. I guess you got to stick with it though. That's kind of the only caveat. You can do whatever you want, but you have to do it either regularly or in some sort of regimen. Otherwise, in my opinion, it kind of doesn't work.
It's a skill like anything. And the more you do it, the better at it you get and the more fulfillment you find out of it. So yeah, without a doubt.
Oh, I love that. What a great time to talk about GVBC and the Good Vibes Breakfast Club stuff.
Yeah.
If you want any swag from the GVBC or the Peace, Love, and Good Vibes 111 shirt, go to dualshift.com or dualshift on Instagram, DUEL, and order that stuff. I think I think some of the stuff's not out of order,
Out of
out of stock. All right,
You're out of order.
You're out of the whole place is out of order. Continuing on with the viewer mail here, just for a second, the impromptu viewer mail. By the way, producer Mike, hold off on the impromptu viewer mail. I would like to switch our viewer mail segment to an actual viewer mail segment. I would like to have a place where people can, viewer mail in the old days was like, oh, people write in their questions or whatever. And that's sort of an antiquated idea because nowadays everybody instantly just beams an idea through whatever. But somehow I would still like to have a mailbox somewhere,
For sure.
either on social media or a website or whatever, where like people could just drop random comments and whatever, good, bad, or otherwise. Jimmy's got mean tweets and all
Yes.
that. I'm interested to see what would be in that box. I think we could have some fun with it.
Oh, without a doubt. And as the community grows, I mean, some of the people in the chat here were talking about, like Ariel was talking about, community. As the community grows, it's going to be very cool to give assignments, I think, as well. Like maybe people could send in some videos and things like that. They could send in. You and I touched around the idea of what's in your glove box, kind of an idea, and some other fun interactive ways where people can throw stuff in and we can read them on air, we can talk about them or whatever. But what if we gave them assignments? I betcha there's a lot of found gold there where we as a community can kind of do this. I think that'd be kind of neat. Or
all sit together and make fun of one another for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Because I know that if somebody gave me that task, I would, whatever I turned in would be ridiculous. So I can't wait to see what like other people would do for sure. That's a great idea.
Yes.
All right. So real viewer mail will be forthcoming soon. In the meantime, back to fake impromptu viewer mail, where I showcase the things that people send us. We'll call that something else. We'll call it Showcase. Now on with the Showcase. Here we have a Googie modern book that was sent over by Jens. Oh, I can't zoom in while I'm on the multicam there. Well, whatever. It's a beautiful. Look at this. Wait till you see what I'm going to do. Yeah. Oh no. Yeah.
This is modern technology at its finest, folks.
There it is. Whoa. There it is. Yep. Wow. Uh-huh. And right over there.
This there with the mid-century architecture segment that we had with Niall.
Exactly. And this is all about diners and coffee shops of the Googie architecture period, and it's really, really cool. And I'm aware that nobody on YouTube could hear this. I'm sorry about that. I will say this, though. As far as YouTube goes, Manuel Carrillo says, hi!
Keep it manual.
And Henton Wysam says hello. I know I said that wrong. Henton Wysam. What do you think that is? You guys help me here. Something Sam, right? Hentony Sam? Maybe it's Sam Hentony.
I only see Tony.
Tony Sam?
Ah, geez, I missed Tony. Hen, Tony, and Sam. It could be a whole family. Hello.
Really?
Hello, you guys.
Or it's like Hento and New York Sam.
Oh, yeah. See, this is why I need other people. My brain's not smart enough to figure it all out. All right. Let's see. Anything new on the Oscar slap heard around the world? Chris Rock and Will Smith? Anybody? Any thoughts or feelings on that?
I heard Will's leaving the academy.
I heard he voluntarily.
Hey, I got a question for Nicole.
Yeah.
Okay, if you had to PR one of those guys.
Oh, hang on.
after that-
What, hang on. Did you ever see the movie Funny People?
Sure, love that movie.
Well, you know when he hires the guy to write all the jokes for him, and then the guy goes out and then does all the jokes before the guy does?
Yeah.
He sends me all these questions to ask you, and it's a segment that I will get to here at some point. And now he's going to burn them right now.
No. Sorry about that. I apologize.
No, go
I wasn't
ahead.
sure
It's
if
a
you
great
got it or
question.
not, but
I just pulling the curtain back for the folks at home. It's a great
if you
question.
had
Go
to
ahead.
PR, if you had to rep one of those guys, who would it be? After this mess.
Chris.
Yeah, that would
Yeah.
be the easier fire to put out.
No, but it's more. It feels more real, and there's more longevity to him. I think.
I gotcha.
It's just the right side of things. It's if you're looking at two people and one of them screwed up, I would rather rep the guy who isn't apologizing and resigning and stuff. Also, given your history, I feel like if you asked her also of all of your clients that you have ever repped, who would you like to work with today? Would he be one of the people? Would he be the name? So I think there's maybe a lot of facets there.
There's a lot. I know both camps, and I'm familiar with the situation, and there's one I think I could handle better, be more equipped to handle, and would be listened to better.
I agree.
That makes sense.
Also,
I'm just grateful for the 15 minutes in Chris Rock's next special that we're going to get, because it's going to be awesome.
we'll see. I'll be surprised if he does that. He's
You'd
a
be
high road
surprised
kind
if he actually turned this into a
guy.
bit?
Yeah.
People don't realize that about Chris Rock. He's a high road kind of guy.
I don't think it'll be in a special, and he hasn't addressed it on stage so far. He's already done dates. So I think we missed the ship. He was in Boston right after it happened. So.
All right.
Yeah, but he's a genuinely good guy, and I think most people probably don't get to know that behind the comedy. He's just running around the stage yelling stuff. Why the fucking Robitussin? You know what I mean? He's very, very thoughtful, incredibly thoughtful.
Yeah.
I thought it was better. I think it's
I
better
look at his
Tony
last
Rock who's
special.
jumping in. He's like, there's a lot of Rock brothers, and we're all coming at you.
I
I
look
work
at-
with them too. They're very different.
But Chris's last special, where it went into the divorce and all of that stuff, and he
Tambourine.
got really vulnerable. I loved that. I thought it was beautiful, funny, but beautiful at the same time with all that vulnerability.
We agree. We went to that one live. We were at that one.
Oh, that's so fucking cool.
It felt real, and he addressed it honestly without having to do a magazine spread. He was real, and he addressed it up front and was honest about, you guys must be thinking this. I'll talk about it. And he was honest and covered it and moved on. I'm proud of him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, for
I don't
sure.
think you don't want to be part of something like this. You know what I mean? I thought his joke was dumb, really dumb. But when you look at her, and if he's there to do other stuff, and he's a comedic mind with quick wit, he comes out, he sees the front row, he sees a girl with a shaved head wearing a green thing that kind of looks army-ish, like, oh, association, G.I. Jane, and like, boom, through it, and like, how about that, everybody? Look how fucking quick I am, and then it just backfired. Could have happened to anybody. I don't think he gets canceled over the haircut joke. I don't think that happens. It doesn't happen. It doesn't make sense. He's a comedian. You got to cancel all comedy if that's what it is.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry. We're
Well,
going
and
on and on about it.
I am hoping cautiously optimistic that the pendulum has swung far enough now in the canceling thing, and then it's going to start swinging back, and common sense and reason are going to be a part of things moving forward. We talk about a lot about that on the men's podcast I do, right? Because there's a lot of guys out there who are scared to say how they even feel about even this. They're scared to say how the Will Smith thing, because they're worried about their opinion coming back to haunt them.
Interesting. I don't know. The only thing, when it gets, I think we touched on this the other day. If you believe in like conspiracy theory, like I don't follow Alex Jones or any of the guys out there with a web channel going, it's really these lizard people and all that. Fine, whatever. So I don't follow all that, but I do love a good conspiracy theory, and I do love looking at situations where people haven't yet spouted them, and I'm like, oh well, wait till that catches on, because here's what I see here. And I said the other day I don't think it was a setup, and I still say that, in that it wasn't between Chris and Will. But if you believe in shaping society and making examples for then the masses to learn from and live by, this is a good one, because it seems that everyone is taking the right message of, no matter how much you don't like what so-and-so said, you don't go up and pop them in the mouth.
Yes.
So that's kind of like a weird good thing that's come out of this. Now, on its own, it's nothing. But when you pair it with a couple very benign words from his acceptance speech, where he was talking and crying about like saying goodbye. To me, it was a goodbye speech. I said that when I was watching it. I was like, to me, this was, I know I'm out of here. But he said he's so beyond great, whatever. He's taken by the things that he's being called upon to do. And then I go, oh, conspiracy theory, the powers that be, the people in the world who actually, the tastemakers are like, we have to then shape society, whatever. I literally went there the other night and I was like, well, I'm not going to go too deep on it, but I think it checks out. And I don't mean like that I believe it. I'm going like, could be true. Plausible. Myth, plausible.
Okay, so let's bring it back to Dave for a second. Dave does this interview with Will Smith that's presumably going to be on my next guest.
I doubt
it. Does he change it? Does he shelve
I
it?
say that doesn't. I don't. No. That doesn't happen. I don't think. But what do we know? In the old world that we both worked in, that we both are familiar with, we both say no, right?
I say no. I say no. The old one is old. It's so outdated now.
But our experience is from the old one.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, it's going to be interesting looking at that interview through the lens of what we know now.
It's weird. This is kind of what I was saying before. Will Smith is sort of the enlightened celebrity list. You know what I mean? He's one of those ones who's out there pushing love and good things and good vibes. And he lives by that stuff himself and, do more and support and help. And, it's just, it's kind of out of character. Going back to the conspiracy theory. I'm selling myself on this thing as I say it out loud. When it was just thoughts in my head the other night, I was like, who gives a shit? But now I'm like, maybe.
Now, okay, what about the idea that he knew that 1 billion people were watching and it's the opportunity, like if the opportunity presents itself, I'm going to be sharp and I'm going to make sure, the opportunity presented itself, I'm doing something. Like, what about that? Like,
you mean?
Yeah, if you're an opportunist and you go into something being an opportunist, looking through that lens, and you see suddenly an opportunity to do something.
I didn't see that. I didn't see what you could be right. Yeah, you could totally be right. I didn't see that. What I saw was something that I've actually experienced countless times in my own life, never to the result of popping somebody in the mouth, but I have absolutely experienced someone intentionally or accidentally offending my wife, this one here, or saying something that will have a much bigger rift than that person intended, because I know,
Yeah.
No, this is nothing against you. This is any partnership. And I think to myself,
I felt it too.
I have for sure reacted and done things that I wouldn't have done on my own because I felt the whatever we saw in Jada's face. Like, you're gonna let him say that? Yeah. Until, like I said the other day, I wish we had it on ISO. I wish I could see I wish they could see the camera on the Smiths the entire time and what was actually happening. They have it. That show is shot that way because of the delay and stuff, so that they could edit for later. So they have it. When it comes out, we'll see. It'll be in the documentary, I'm sure.
Do you think it will come out?
It will come out. It will come out. Somebody has it now, and they're sitting on it for a lot of money.
Yeah.
Again, it's me in the old business, but with my knowledge of how it used to work and how it can work if someone pulls on the right strings, which is what you know. Yeah. It's a bummer, too, because like I'm thinking of all the Will Smith movies like I want to watch that were in the queue. Like, I want to watch Independence Day again. I want to watch some of the really good ones. And Pursuit of Happiness is great. And that 7 Pounds one with it's amazing. They're all really good inspirational movies.
You said something about a movie, and I had not even thought about that. But I would have a hard time, I think, watching 2 hours of him right now.
Yeah, it's too soon, maybe.
Yeah.
Too soon.
Unless it's Ali, maybe.
Here's another thought that went through my mind. Do you know how, like, when this isn't a conspiracy theory, it's just like any person who is getting of the age closer to retirement and getting a pension and stuff like that, any person I've ever known has somehow gotten screwed out of their pension, either in part or in full, somehow, either by an investment or, oh, the plan changed and whatever, no matter what. So basically you're promised this thing your whole life and then whatever, and then it never comes through.
Yep.
Boy, where the hell was I going with that? Holy crap. What were we talking about right before that? I lost my train of thought.
Watching a Will Smith movie. Watching.
Oh no, this is
holy
awful.
smokes!
I know.
Yeah,
when you took a puff of that, I thought something, and then it erased from my brain. The bait and switch of it all. Oh man, I had something there, and I can't remember. I'm sorry. Oh, that's terrible.
And it wasn't to do with us watching a Will Smith movie. People getting older. Will Smith getting older.
Oh yeah, it was that. Thank you so much. I can't believe you did it. You're amazing. Thank you. Seems like a weird segue. I go back to a reboot from a couple years ago, Roseanne.
Oh yeah, there we go. Yep.
It was great the first year, and then something happened with Roseanne, and she wasn't cool anymore, and everybody else was like, "Hey, we'll pick it up and do this thing." Fresh Prince just came back last year, first season, hot. Everyone likes it. All right, now Will's out.
I saw that.
So isn't that, no, I don't mean, I'm not trying to break news here. I'm just fundamentally speaking about the same thing. It's sort of like all these comebacks are good and great, but they don't really want the people attached to the comeback. Is it just a coincidence? These two hit
I don't
90s
think so.
shows?
I personally think that we crafted people to be certain things at certain times, and they're not that right now.
It's a new earth, new world.
We're finding it on Lifetime, and the studios are like, no today, so we're good.
Well, the only thing, I agree with all of that. The only thing I would say that I disagree with is that the studios would be on the forefront of that side of things. You know what I mean?
Oh,
they would be ahead of their own messaging.
I misspoke. I don't think they're at the forefront at all. I think they're incredibly reactive to what's around them.
Okay.
But they're trigger happy, and they're pulling triggers faster than they used to. There's no.
That's our fault, right? Because we're just, it's feeding time in the fish tank.
Yeah, you and I did this kind of by accident. You might have too, Mike. When you're nerding out about something, you get really into that rabbit hole of like, I want to read everything. Consumer and industry.
Obsessive. Yes, I obsess.
Consumer press and industry press are different, and not everyone would know all this information if people weren't reading industry press as if it was common knowledge. So there's a lot still to be sorted out. I got off my train of thought, I think.
No, it's totally true. I'm in the pro wrestling world. And in the pro wrestling world, for years and years and years before the internet came out, there were these things called dirt sheets. And they're newsletters that people would print, and there would be, 5,000 to 10,000 people around the country that would be in their circulation. And they would talk about the wrestlers' real names. They would talk about the storylines behind things and all that sort of stuff. And the wrestling industry couldn't. They tried to stay on top of things. The studio, like you say, is trigger happy right now. When somebody who works for them does something that is untoward, look at James Gunn with Guardians of the Galaxy, right? They just,
it doesn't even need to be bad. Just unaligned with whatever the studio stands for.
Yep.
Off the company policy, off the company line.
That's right. If a good guy wrestler and a bad guy wrestler were in the same car together and somebody reported on that, both those wrestlers were fired.
Oh, yeah, because they can't be seen being friends. I told you this when I met Hulk Hogan. I think Roddy Piper, or at least some of the other team, was there because they were all out to dinner. It wasn't a public appearance. But it was like, wait, they're really friends? My dad was like, it's all fake. It's all fake. I was like, what? They said that at school, but I don't think so. I wasn't even that into it, but whatever. It was an eye-opening experience for a little 6-7-year-old, whatever I was. Probably a little older, like 10 years old maybe.
It's weird that, we want the best art from our artists, but we don't like the fact that to be an artist, you have to have a personality that goes down some pretty extreme rabbit holes sometimes.
Oh, that's a very enlightening comment. I mean, how do you know that?
How do I know that?
I agree
watch
with you
TV.
wholeheartedly, but I think most people, like she was talking about front of house and back house, industry press and consumer press, I think a lot of people don't know that.
Look at a guy like Prince. I mean, he lived in Paisley Park, and you hear things like every once in a while, Kevin Smith, who didn't sign his NDA, tells some stories and stuff about how odd Prince was. I mean, the guy was a fucking musical god, though. I mean, he comes up with all those ideas. You got to think that there are other parts of his life that are equally as eccentric, right?
I totally agree with everything you're saying, and I'm telling you factually, you are correct, sir. I'm asking how you know that.
I don't know.
Intuition?
I read a lot.
Oh, okay.
Transcendental
You've taken
meditation.
It comes to him during transcendental meditation.
Yeah, that's right.
Don't you share your word, mister. Was your friend a TM coach?
Yeah.
How did you get a word?
Yeah.
Oh.
How did
then you didn't have to
he get
pay her
the
anything.
word?
You did that's amazing.
I still have it in my email. It's been a few years.
Courses are expensive.
Yeah, good for you. Good for you.
Good
Are you an
luck.
ordained minister too? I just got an email the other day saying it's my anniversary of being an ordained minister.
Not that I'm aware of, but I'm not saying I wouldn't do it.
I did it because Rob Corddry told me to, and he did it because when he was working at the Daily Show, you know, when you sign up to be an ordained minister, you can get all the stuff. You get whatever you want. You can get the little ID card, you get the bumper sticker, you can get a little placard to put on your windshield, and he got the little placard to put on his windshield, and therefore he could park anywhere in Manhattan because he was a clergy member anywhere near within 3 blocks of a church, which is what it is, and that's anywhere in Manhattan. And he did that
Well
for
done.
how many years? 6 years on the Daily Show.
Yeah, a long time.
Parked anywhere in Hell's Kitchen because he had that thing, and he told me about it. I
So
was like,
you're telling me that you
genius.
can marry people on this show?
yeah, we're both ordained. I've never done it, but she has actually married somebody.
That's amazing. Oh my
Didn't-
God.
didn't-
Okay.
didn't
Well,
last,
new
though.
fundraiser, new fundraiser
No, it
for the
didn't.
foundation, ladies and gentlemen. Want to get married on the Late Night Playset?
Oh, I love that idea. You want a Tiny Tim your marriage?
Love that.
Yep.
I love that. Oh, that's a great idea. We should totally do that. Now
Yeah.
we just need the couple crazy enough to do it. Now, if it was renewing your vows, you guys would do it in a heartbeat.
Candy and I would in a second. Yeah. We put into our vows, we vow to be each other's partners in mischief.
Yeah. Everything here is inventoried. Just letting you know.
Not that mischievous.
Oh, it's hilarious. All right. Is there anything else? There's new cars out. What's going on in the chat?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I've been chatting with you guys too much.
Oh, TV content will reach a dead end. Oh, yeah. I mean, you're not wrong about that. I mean, hasn't it? Yeah. It's weird.
See, he says that, and I can understand where, like, there are no new ideas, but there's a whole bunch of unexplored old ideas. Like, I'm watching that LA
Right.
Lakers show right now on HBO. Oh, my
Great.
God. Is that
I only started it, but it's great.
So great. Shot like Boogie Nights, except even more down the line of cool camera tricks, and it's so good. I mean, there's so many old ideas that we can still use.
Well, I totally agree with you, and that's what we're doing here, doing old television production here in a new modern thing. I think that there are a million things. I mean, that's what Late Night with David Letterman was. I mean, they were reinventing a wheel that existed many years ago, and they were very honest about the fact that they were doing it. So, yeah, I'm 100% on board with what you're saying. Especially now that the people who used to
without a
know
doubt.
the source material are gone. I mean, like, it's crazy. It's crazy. I was the kid who used to lie older, so because all I related to was stuff that adults did. And all of the people that I used to play to are going away. And all that's left are people from my age, which I've never related to. I don't understand people my age. But I've found that, and maybe this is same for you, maybe you too, I'm finding that I really relate to the kids. The next generation. It's like I was an old generation far removed, but somehow I will be a benefit to this upcoming generation, which I think is going to do some good shit.
100%. 100%. Our 25-year-old, he's a videographer, and all of his he doesn't do weddings and shit like that anymore. He went way past that. He's a business videographer. And everything that young entrepreneurs are trying to get out there in their businesses are the messages about what they're doing in the world. And the broader message, not just I sell this for this price, but we're doing this because this needs to happen. And I love that they are so mindful. It's very encouraging. I'm very encouraged by that generation. I just once we get rid of the outrage part and the canceling, I think that we're in really good shape.
Yeah, and that's sort of what I was saying before about the pensions and all. I feel like it's just a cleaning house type situation.
Yep.
If you watch any new
get that.
programming, everything is very diverse. All of the casts are every different shape, size, and color. I mean, across the board, not just on the UPN or the Paramount Network or whatever. Like on every channel, everything is very diverse now.
Yeah.
And that to me is like, oh, one down. I don't know. I hope it doesn't, become a problem in some way because the pendulum swings. But like, I like it. I like it because that's how the world is. All different shapes and sizes.
100%. I think it's going to be the new normal. Some projects I feel like it's shoehorned in. My wife is a
I agree with that.
gigantic Sex and the
Some
City
of them,
fan.
it's checking a box for sure.
Yes. My wife is a gigantic Sex and the City fan from the old show. And the new show, she tried her best, like really, really tried. You know when you really love something and you just got to, no, I have to like this. And she tried her very, very best.
He's describing the Late Show with David Letterman.
She just thought it was
for me, but
shoehorned
yes.
down her throat.
I totally get it, buddy.
Yeah, man.
I'm really proud of her. It was the first original run was great for the time and the context it was in. I didn't even try with this new one because I saw the social media shit and I was like already out. I'm glad you tried it, but I'm not surprised.
So that's another one.
No.
I mean, they haven't canceled anybody on it yet, thank goodness. But it's another one where like
Not without trying though, Jay. They tried.
they're making. Oh, that's a good point. It's like they're making stuff for the older generation, but the kids are like, nope, we're not doing this anymore. Meanwhile, we're all happy for the nostalgia, but the kids are like, no.
It's not enticing. It's not fun and aspirational anymore sometimes.
There's no iPhones on it. I don't get it.
And
Not enough screens.
how do you talk?
But see, like, okay, Jay, you and I talked about Ghostbusters to no end, and we could probably talk about it for hours. The new Ghostbusters, diverse as fuck, so much diversity in that, but the story was so good. It wasn't like it was. They just look like regular kids.
I would say it has the same amount of diversity as the first one.
Do you
why
think?
is it more? Why is it diverse AF? Well, if you look at all the characters, I guess there's a girl. There's a girl now, so that's nice. But otherwise, it's 3 white kids and 1 black. Just like the original Ghostbusters, no?
Well, okay, I guess if you look at it that way, but yeah, no, the girls was where I was coming from in
That's a
that
good point.
as well, and I just thought, if we're gonna make a new team, it's gonna be 2 and 2.
Oh no, you're right. The kids, the Ray kid is Asian. You're right. You're right.
Yeah, podcast
right.
is Asian.
Yeah. No,
You
you're
know.
right.
So, but but you had to think about it. That's my point right there. It wasn't shoehorned, like it wasn't in your face, smashing you with the frying pan.
You are 100% right.
Ghostbusters is going to be diverse now.
A point made. Yes, you're totally right. Oh,
I appreciate you saying that. I'm going to record it and play it to my wife.
I need some of those. Let's see. We've done the hour. Have we done anything that I was supposed to talk about? The foundation. Let's see. I don't know if there's an update on the foundation today. I think maybe we'll do that on Thursday. I mean, there's nothing really that exciting other than it seems as though everything is actually official. It seems as though the money has been transferred. It seems as though everything is actually good and real, which is kind of amazing because if that's true, then once the person tells us, how we can start spending money and whatever, then it becomes a real entity where we can stop worrying about it and just, it's a process.
I really look forward to that. I think it's weighing on me more than I knew.
Me too.
I see it in you. I know it's a thing.
No, it's a lot. This has been a tremendous amount of work, more than any of us ever expected. And it seems like it should be easy because when you list all the things on paper, it's like, oh, if you just do this, then you do this, then you do that. Each one of those things has 12 complications attached to it because of life and COVID and California and whatever else. It's been a lot, and I'm exhausted. That's all. I'm so happy for you, though, that it's all done and that now you can do something with it.
I'm grateful for that, but I'm really impressed with all you've done, and thanks.
All right. You're welcome.
I would just gush all the time, but I won't because that's lame, but I'm really happy for you.
They say all which separates men and boys is the coverage for their toys. What types of toys are we talking about today, Mrs. Ryan?
Collective.
That's right. Licensed in most states, St. Clair Insurance shops top providers so you get the best coverage for your toys. Simply go to Google and type in that www. Then you go to coverageforyourtoys.com, coverageforyourtoys.com.
Coverageforyourtoys.com.
Say hello to Jeff St. Clair from Nicole. So you saw it here, and then she says hi. Say, hi, Jeff. I saw Nicole on the playset. She told me to call you, and she says hi. This episode has been brought to you in part by Series 1 Films. Series 1 Films helps automotive brands create engaging cinematic content for social media and advertising to grab and hold your ideal customer's attention. Check them out at series1films.com. That's Series 1 Films number 1. Numero uno. For our viewers south of the border. And that concludes the ads for today's show. I told you about Tradecraft Farms. Thanks so much to Tradecraft Farms and our friends at Sticky Vape, obviously. And Auto Kennel, better call Paul. Shop Smart, TLG, come on home. Oh, I get to go to TLG tomorrow. That's so exciting. Oh, man. Everything's coming together. It's all coming together. I think that's it. Mike, is there anything else we should talk about? We never got to your questions because you asked the king one. Here, let me go back to this, and we'll just spend a minute here. Uh-oh.
I'm curious why we're not talking about the hot sauce made by bears today.
Well, they don't actually give us any money. That's more of a gives me something to play while I run around the studio and move stuff around.
I put this in the chat a couple weeks back. My brother, who's gay as a French trombone, when I told him about the hot sauce made by bears, he was really excited by that.
Different bears, I think.
Okay.
Different bears. But if you don't know what Mike's talking about, please enjoy these brief words from our friends at Oh So Delicious Hot Sauce. The hot sauce, Mrs. Ryan.
Made by bears.
Oh, so delicious. It's the hot sauce made by bears. Garlic and serrano mixed with love and care. You can put it on your eggs, pour it on your rice. It's great on a leg, it's better on a slice. It's oh so delicious. It's the hot sauce made by bears. Oh, so delicious hot sauce. Great on everything except oatmeal.
Get your bottle today at ohsodelicious.org. $1 from every bottle sold goes to the National Military Family Association.
And we're back.
Oh my God, I love this so much.
What are we doing here? Let's see. If there were a couple of things you would most want the Autoimmunity Foundation to achieve, what would they be?
I think awareness of how to take that back. I'd like to normalize things. Everyone's got something. Like everyone, I want to just relax a little bit.
That's a very good point. Is there something you would want to tell those beginning their journey with multiple sclerosis, something you wish you would have known sooner or when you began your journey?
Not to be as focused on a fix. Everyone wants to get a solution and fix this, and that's not there yet. So live comfortably and give your brain the space to figure out the next step.
That's something everyone has to come to in their own time, right? Because you can't force. It happens when it happens, right?
Yes. Yeah, to the question though, like reminding everyone to remain calm. I know that's a crisis thing, but just calm down and don't get caught up in the hype.
All right. What are some things that inspire you and keep your attitude so positive?
You and characters and
UEUE?
you, dear Ryan.
Uh-oh. I don't want any credit.
It's about
I fail every day.
cultivating relationships that make you happy. And I've been able to do that more now, and that's what keeps me happy. It's really hard without that community in the sense of understanding that people can give you.
From being in a community. Just the sense of being in a community. That understanding. Yeah. Man. Let's see, I closed it, but I remember this one. Hang on. It was name what are 3 or 4 things you are grateful for? It's similar to the last one because you use them similarly, but
I'm grateful that my life situation is where it is. I'm grateful that I can still move how I can move, and I'm grateful that I have the opportunity to do something with this foundation.
it's good stuff.
All shit I never would have thought about before. So that's pretty cool.
Tells me you're on the right path.
I agree. I was not before.
Oh, I'm not.
I'm saying
I just feel that you are more grounded and more aligned with a better way of living these days than you used to be.
I agree. I admit my past fault.
That right there is huge for anyone, but really for you. You used to not be wrong. It was everyone else's problem. You used to not take responsibility. That was professionally your thing. It was like, nope, deny. It's someone else's.
It kept me successful. And personally, that doesn't work.
All right. Well, I feel like we did this. I'm really happy for all of you guys. I feel like there's a lot of good vibes happening here. I feel like you got good shit coming up. I feel like you got good shit coming up. Sorry, I said shit a couple times there, kids. I feel like the kids have good shit coming up. I'm a big fan of the kids.
Yeah.
I don't know why I left the Instagram over there the whole time tonight. I'm sorry. There's probably nobody watching because it's not the best. I don't know. Whatever. I realize they probably can't hear shit. Whatever.
There's at least 6 people watching right now.
Oh boy. Who are they? It's the micro influencer. All right, are we good?
Hank at camera 4 said, "Great advice, Mrs. Ryan."
He's right. All right, so we have some stuff over here too if you want to talk about that. Let's see. That's the sound. Jay, the odd sound coming from the producer's mic and occurs when he moves his mic. Yes, thank you, Group FBC. He's been made aware that he is the issue. Crayfish TV. In terms of, it chases what is on trend TV, and people kind of parrot the nonsense, eventually leading nowhere. Yes, agreed. Crayfish TV. By the way, what the shit is Crayfish TV? Are you catching crayfish on television? Do you have a YouTube channel? I want to watch this. I'm looking you up, Crayfish TV, afterwards. I guess the big difference now is TV's commercials tell people how to think. Well, that's not new. You're just older and you can see it now. Think back to anything when you were a kid. There's a reason we still buy like all those products and brands and whatever from when we were kids. Endless propaganda spawning more, yeah. Also, anything you're taught in school, like about other countries doing stuff, like just, everybody does stuff. So when you hear like Russia and German propaganda and whatever, like, yeah, well, what about American propaganda or Mexican propaganda or Canadian propaganda or whatever suits. What a funny moment. Jesus, I wonder what it was. Shit. I thought it was, oh yeah, the bear breaks hot sauce. Irene Hoffman's here, present.
Outstanding.
Emmanuel Carrillo's there. Oh, this is fun.
I love her.
Emmanuel Carrillo everywhere. So I guess somewhere there's a chat where they can all see those in a line like we have on the Instagram. I don't have access to that, but that's cool. So they can all. Yeah. All right. I'm late to the party.
It's the show within the show, Jay.
Say it again.
It's the show within the show.
Yeah, I know. We need, whatever. I'm really excited about everything. I really am. We haven't talked much about what's going on around here, but like shit's going to start happening around here. Everybody's got good shit. Thank you, Producer Mike, for being here. Thank you, Nicole, Shabbat, Ryan, for being here. Let's see. How do we follow you guys? Producer Mike, how do we follow you?
Well, you can the Shazamike thing on Instagram, SHAZAMIKE, Shazamike. There, I'm Mike Chisholm on Facebook, and the Letterman Podcast is going to be our handle. There's a Facebook page. We actually have an Instagram account as well. Thank you, Jay. And so the Letterman Podcast is
Well, hang on. Let me explain. The only reason I started that was back when he was doing the idea. I said, "You just need to. If you want to do it, you just need to do it." And I said, "Here, let me show you." And I blah blah blah. And I just went and I go, "Here, the Letterman Podcast. I just got it for you on Instagram." And he was like, "Oh, okay." It was just the tiniest little nudge or kick in the butt, where then he just snowball.
Letterman Podcast at gmail.com as well.
Excellent. For people who want to contribute, or if they want to be a guest, or if they want to find out more information. Is that what it is?
Or just be my friend, because, could always use more friends.
Oof, man. Unbelievable. Awesome. All right. So let's see. Tomorrow, Magnus Walker will be here, but none of you will. So we're doing his show tomorrow here in the studio. Thursday, we'll be back, I believe, with Mr. Reggie Watts. I know. He's off this week, off from the Late Late Show, and he wanted to come back. And he's doing a talk downtown at the same time, so we may have to pivot our schedule a little bit if we do this. So stay tuned on Thursday, but it looks like Reggie Watts will be the guest, which is fun. If for some reason that falls through, we'll just be here live at 5 with whomever. And Friday, Good Vibes Breakfast Club up in Angeles Crest. I love you. We all love you.
Yeah.
Producer Mike.
Love you too. Love you both very much.
And everybody loves you at home. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out with us. I really enjoy hanging out with you guys. I feel like we got into conversation and we didn't spend as much time with the audience as we wanted to. We're going to work on that. All right. Love everybody.